Aloha. Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii with Real, and we are doing the Zoom portion of
Mhm.
the East Hawaii upstate with Nui. And Nui also is with Real, and we are giving her a chance to actually come to us from Chicago. So tell them what you're doing in Chicago before we get the stats so they can see that you're a traveling leader.
So I'm the incoming president for Hawaii Island Realtors 2026, and they sent me here to learn how to be a leader. So I'm going to be here till next week in leadership training.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
so I hope you can see my face because I wanted you guys to see the beautiful city instead of the hotel room.
And also, you see, so for us, it's something totally different. We usually see palm trees behind people's house, faces when they're in the.
Yeah, yeah,
And to see the skyscrapers of Chicago is pretty awesome. Um,
yeah. The
so,
river's right down there too, so it's kind of a neat view from here. And I just got off the plane, like literally just got off the plane, so I'm still in my plane outfit and plane hair.
yeah.
So
And so, you guys who are watching this, I want you guys to give extra kudos to Nui for taking time out of her time to be actually doing something else to give you guys the update on what's happening with the real estate market in East Hawaii. So, let's get to the numbers. We were talking before we got on the camera that West Hawaii and East Hawaii seem to be having different experiences in the market. And we'll talk to you guys about that afterwards. But go ahead and tell them what's going on right now in the market with the June numbers.
okay, so you did mention that your side of the island saw a steep drop, and I'm looking at the island-wide update and property sold. There was almost 15% decrease in volume island-wide, but I on our side of the island, we're not really feeling it like that much. So right now in South Hilo, there are 99 active listings, same as last month.
Mhm.
Days on market average is up to 141 from 125 last month. And when I was pulling the stats, I did notice days on market were in all the areas are kind of going up. Not kind of, they are going up. And price range in Hilo right now is 260, on the low end, 268 to 23 million. The one that's active for 268 is kind of misleading. I've been getting calls on that because it looks like, wow, because it's actually a a really
Shack.
it's a home that no, it's not a shack at all. That's why I'm getting a lot of calls on it. It's a nice it's a normal house for 268. But the thing is when you read it, it's 50% interest that you're buying in this house. So that's the
Oh.
catch. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm getting
Can you
calls on
list
it.
that on the MLS that you're buying a house that has a 50% interest stake? Is that a thing? I haven't heard of that.
Apparently, yeah. I've never done one of those sales.
Yeah.
I have heard of them before. I think this is the first time I've seen it on the MLS. I've heard other people who have done stuff like that, but
Oh,
I, yeah. And
that's
anyways,
interesting.
I've
I
been
didn't
getting
hear
a lot
that.
of calls on it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
yeah.
Well, you have to
So
like the person you're going into business with because that's what that is. It's going into business with somebody and buying a piece of property. So,
yeah, totally. And like, how do you decide who's going to do what for maintenance and all of that? And then how do the agreement on what if you want to sell, that all
yeah.
of those things kind of, you have to think about all those. Yeah. So it's a total going into business
And
situation.
not to go off topic like I always do, I actually was hired to sell a third of an interest in a beautiful $1 million house on the Kahalo Coast because one of the investors wanted out. And trying to sell an interest in somebody else's house because then you're looking at who gets Christmas, who, that whole
Yeah.
thing. And so yeah, so it's doable. Sadly, that house ended up going into foreclosure because they couldn't figure it out. And so that's an interesting opportunity for somebody, but there's a lot of things to consider on those kinds of transactions. So interesting. Tell me how that goes. But your $23 million
Yeah.
property still seems to be on sale. The $23 million property, that's been
Oh,
on
it
the
is
market for a
still for
while.
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went off and then they put it back on. Well, it's because it's $23 million in Hilo. It is absolutely gorgeous, but that's a very very specific buyer. I feel like that's a specific buyer anywhere because not a lot of people are just like, here's $23 million for a property, but especially in Hilo. Okay, so the median in Hilo is 800,000. That's been that 800 for some months now, the active median price.
Mhm.
And I just want to say, I'm not going to go over the under contracts in Hilo right now, but the $12 million home did go under contract. So that is, and that one was the one that got reduced for, I think that one was listed at 23 million a few months ago, and they reduced it to 12, and it went under contract very quickly. That's actually one of my really good friends listings, so I need to call her and tell her congratulations. But that one's 792 acres. It's a 4-bed, 5-bath home on 792 acres.
A lot of
So
land.
under contract.
Wow.
Yeah, under contract for 12 million. Okay, so sold properties in July in Hilo, there were 23 that sold. Last year in July, there were 25, so not much different.
You have a stable market in Hilo.
It seems so. It's not changing too much. It's not changing too much. And we keep getting more $1 million listings on the market. So that's interesting. I forgot to check how many there were the other day, but as of like the week before, there were 32 homes over a million. So almost 1/3 of the active inventory was over a million in Hilo. So right now, for last month, July, sold price range was 150 to 1.2 million. The one that was 150,000 was, I think it's a tear down in a little area called Pauka'a Village, and it was 5,200 square foot lot. So very small lot and tear down for 150, which actually I feel like that is actually not a bad price because that's Lava Zone 8. Pauka'a's Lava Zone 8. They go over the Singing Bridge, and it's and then over the bridge to Honolulu, or that crosses over Honolulu.
Uh-huh.
And right when you pass that bridge, that's Pauka'a
Oh, okay.
on the left
And
hand.
people, just
Yeah,
so you
oh,
know
on both
too,
sides.
people want to know where these little towns are when we bring them up. Someone said, I'm completely lost when you use these terms of like these towns in Hawaii. So I'm glad that you're telling people kind of what to look for and where it's at. So yeah. So there you go. So if you know where the Singing Bridge is, it's north of Hilo.
Honolulu is the most popular surfing beach on the east side of the island, maybe even on the entire island. And Kona is probably Banyan. It's right past Honolulu. So you could look up Honolulu and see where Pauka'a is if you are curious about that. But that's where most people live, or if I wouldn't say most people. When I was growing up as a kid, all the surfer boys and girls, a lot of them lived in that little neighborhood, and then we would walk to the beach together. So those are my
Oh.
memories of Pauka'a. Okay, moving along. Sorry, got kind of stuck on that one. And then the high end was 1.2 million in South Hilo last month, and that was in a gated community called Pepekeo Point. From downtown Hilo, you're probably driving about 12 minutes to Pepekeo. Community is right on the water. But this community is right on the water, it's gated and everything. So that one was a 2-bedroom on 3.5 acres. So it does have larger lots in that neighborhood. Days on market to sale, the average days on market South Hilo is 48. It actually went down in Hilo this month. So I just said that days on market were going
Up.
but in Hilo, this days on market to sale actually went down just a little bit, 48 from 57. But here's what's going on too. Okay, so this is what I also am seeing. I said that there's a lot more listings over a million, but there's also a lot more listings under 500 that are coming on the market as well. And so those ones are selling very quickly.
Mhm.
And so that's what's going on with the days on market
Oh.
there. And the sales under 500 are generally older homes on smaller lots and needing some renovation or at least significant updates.
Oh, okay. But if you're looking for affordable housing, there's more on the market now than there was in the last 2 months that are under 600.
Yes, yes. I don't, it's weird because I I was trying to figure that out. I just because I had buyers looking in the lower price ranges before they just couldn't break in, so then they look out in Puna instead. And you probably still, if you're looking for a home that doesn't need renovation and all of that, you probably still want to go to Puna because these homes need a lot of renovations. But yeah, there's a lot of them are starting to come on the market under 500. But older, like 1950, between 1950s and 1970s, I would say.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those kinds of houses
Okay.
on the market in Hilo, right? They don't have brand new.
Well, there's most of Hilo is older homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So there's only a few neighborhoods that have some newer homes, and then those are always 900 plus, I would say.
yeah.
Active listings in Puna, there's 367 um, this month versus 393. And the average days on market is 117 versus 118. Price range in Hilo of active listings are 25,000 to 1.98 million. It's that same Nanavali cabin that we talked about last time is the $25,000 one. And also the same Opihikau property for 1.9 million, 5 acres with 2 homes and a large garage and a actually in the ground pool. So Nanavali and Opihikau are both in lava zones 2, and Nanavali is just it's right around Pahoa town. So if you know where Pahoa town is, it's right near there. And then Opihikau is maybe uh you have to drive maybe another 10 minutes ish to get there south.
Right. So you're
So
going towards Kalapana?
yes, towards Kalapana.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually,
And for those who don't know, Kalapana seems to be at the very, very end of Puna, where people actually live. So you're really far out there.
yeah,
Okay.
yes, yes, and both feel kind of like another world. So
Mhm.
you have to really like that type of country lifestyle. It's a country beach lifestyle. It's beautiful out there, though. You've not been there, I'm
I've driven to
guessing too.
Kalapana, but I don't know that maybe one of these days you and me and Eric have to go out there and shoot some of these other far off places because we've only done the videos of like HPP, Orchid Land Estates, right there in that area, but not really the far ones. But also the far ones, again, talk about unique experiences. A lot of people don't realize that it's really remote. And it is, and it's lava zone too. So it's a different vibe, but maybe just show people kind of what that looks like. But it's definitely it's different. It's different than even, like
Yeah, well, we
Hilo's a
have
city
that one
and
list.
Calapan is out there in the middle of nowhere near a lava field.
Hilo's a city.
Okay, Chicago's a city. Hilo on our island because we only have like two. That's a city. More of a city than even Kona. I think because you live in that area, when people are watching this, they're getting more of a flavor of what life is like there by listening to these stories that you tell. That because people don't know, right? They don't know that people talk about fishing more than they talk about their new Mercedes Benz, or that women say, have you tried a new Hawaiian designer? Where we're not saying let's go to Nordstrom and find out 100 different choices that we have in dresses. It's more, and I want to tell people it's a rural lifestyle. I didn't even know what that meant before I moved here. You know what though? I was talking to some people about this. They said they do want to move away from like Los Angeles, San Francisco, big metropolises like let's say Seattle, and they want a simpler, more laid back lifestyle. And that's what you can find in East Hawaii, right?
It is. I really miss the city. I'm really excited to be here right now because I love city. It gives me energy. But it is one thing that I love about Hilo, and we were just talking about Puna, is, well, I rarely put on makeup, and if I do, it's very not a lot, And I just you don't really ever have to get dressed up. There's not a lot of pressure on like what purse you're wearing or what car you're driving or that type of thing. What shoes do you have on? There's that doesn't really nobody really cares too much about that.
Mhm.
And so that feels a lot more relaxing. But yeah, your Amazon packages, I ordered some pants a couple weeks ago to come on this trip, and guess what? I got an email saying that they just arrived today. Wah
Oh,
wah.
yeah. In fact, somebody just asked
So,
me because they want to be a farmer in Hawaii Island. They're coming from Texas. And she's like, oh, well, I like when things show up. So how fast do things show up on Amazon? And Eric was like, oh, you're lucky to get it within a week. And they both were like, what? It doesn't show up within like 24 hours. I'm like, nothing shows up here in 24 hours. You can't even get FedEx here for 24 hours. So maybe if you, because she said, well, what about refrigerated medication? I'm like, if you pay a fortune, we can do overnight shipping. And so it's going to get on a plane. You're going to pay a fortune for that. But for the most things that you try, you're not going to see it. In fact, I order stuff and thread up. And when it finally arrives, it's like, oh, surprise! I got something new to wear because I can't
yeah.
show up at any time it's actually going to be necessary. And like you're going on a business trip and you need that stuff. And this is what happens sometimes. You miss what you were going to wear because
Yeah.
you're like, okay, well, hopefully 10 days is long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. You can count on Apple though, and I know I'm not sponsored by Apple or whatever,
Yeah.
but Apple, you can count on them. They're always like 2 days. Bam, your
Okay.
stuff's
Good
there.
to
So
know. Good to note.
yeah. Okay, wait, we got way off track.
Yeah.
So the life in Opihikau is even slower. Over there, who cares if you even have shoes on? You probably don't need them. And so there is some farming and things going on. My one friend has a bunch of bees and cows on her property on Opihikau. So cows on Opihikau. But so that's kind of the lifestyle over there.
Okay.
People are kind of protective of what's going on around them. And so when we had another listing over there, and we did have, a neighbor come out and start kind of quizzing the person that I was showing the property to, because, it's just it's so far out there in the country that people are like, do we really want this person living next door to us? So there's some of that going on out there.
Yeah.
And
Well, interesting again, these people, they go, we want to be far away from everybody. I'm like, and they're like, oh, we don't like people. We want to be far away from people. I'm like, well, there's places on this island that definitely you can get away from everybody. You can go off and go to Hamakua Coast or go to this part of the island and just say, and so if you're with other people who don't want to be with other people, and then you move next door, they want to make sure that they're going to be able to, even like if you're acres away,
yeah,
coming in.
yeah. Like, who are you? Yeah, no, totally. For active listings in Puna is 400,000, and it was 400,000 last month too.
Mm.
So,
Insane.
and then sold properties was exactly the same in Puna as this July of 25. There were exactly the same amount of sales as July 24. So our side of the island is really not seeing that big drop like you were.
Yeah. Just so you guys know who didn't get a chance to watch the West Hawaii update. Most people who like East Hawaii don't watch West Hawaii. But we're Kona's single family home sales saw a 70% drop in sales in June. And so that is like a big screeching halt on buying properties like in you could call it tourist economy like West Hawaii, where in East Hawaii it looks like, because again, we're totally different. We're totally tourist driven, more like, resort homes, things like that, second homes, condos, where East Hawaii obviously is more where people live full time. And it shows that what comes up comes down, where West Hawaii also saw a huge increase in prices during the last 3 years. Because a lot of people were leaving the West Coast and coming and buying and investing in West Hawaii. So you're showing that again, a lot of different communities who didn't have that crazy up are not also experiencing more of the down, right?
Yeah, well, and our market is more local
Mhm.
then, there's not people coming in like as much like your side.
Yeah,
So
because we have a lot of people
I,
selling their houses on the West Coast for cash and then coming over and buying $1 million houses for cash. And that's not what's driving East Hawaii, right?
but you know what? That's funny because typically the buyers who can afford the $1 million and over are not from Hawaii. And and now I'm seeing a lot, like one third of our Hilo market, or active market, is
million
over
dollar
a
home.
million.
Right. So
And
what's going
so
on?
I guess we will see how it goes.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what the price range of the solds are in Puna? 37,000 on the low end, and that's in a neighborhood called Black Sand Beach that's close to Kalapana, and that's a starter cabin. It's off grid, unpermitted in Lava Zone 2, and on a 7,700 square foot lot. And on the high end, it's a 757. That was our listing that we did the video in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that was the highest price sale in Puna, and that was on 27th in HPP. Four
Mhm.
bedrooms, a studio upstairs. It was a gate on it, a workshop on 1 acre. So, median sales price in Puna was 397, and the sales to current price ratio median, it's 90, almost 99.
Oh, okay. So people got what they wanted for their house. Okay, good.
Yeah, well, so the current price is when they already had price reductions.
Right.
So, yeah. Um, Median days on market 63 in Puna. Okay, now we can go to HPP. Okay, so active listings, there's 91 versus last month 104, so less active listings. Price range is 230 to 1.795. The one that's listed for 230 is unpermitted on 10th Avenue. It's 416 square feet on 1 acre. And the one that's 1.795 is a 3 bed, 3 bath with an in the ground pool. And the reason why I keep saying in the ground pool is because to get a pool in the ground, and especially in Hilo with all the lava, it's very expensive and hard, literally hard because of the lava. So it's costly. So that's why I keep, when every time there's a pool that's in the ground, it's like a big deal. And anyway, that house is 2,600, a little over 2,600 square feet. It has a 4-car garage,
Wow.
and it has 16-foot TNG ceilings, tongue and groove ceilings, sliding glass doors, those disappearing sliding glass doors that go to the pool and everything. So that's the
So
one
they're
on the.
basically trying to create a Hualalai, like down here next to the Four Seasons experience in HPP.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
Mhm.
I'm going to say something too, though. You want to be careful about overdeveloping for the neighborhood.
Yes, no, yeah. No, totally. Yeah, because that one that I had mentioned a few months ago, they just withdrew it. The one that had the bear and the water slide and all the things.
Yeah.
They just withdrew it, so I don't know. I'm curious if they're going to put it back on the market or what they're doing.
Yeah.
I should find out. But okay. So yeah, you do want to be careful about overbuilding for your neighborhood, but I don't think this one has I don't know. I have to check if that one has a STVR license, but
Maybe that's
that's
the reason why they're
probably what
doing
it
such a
was.
hot thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. He's like, oh, you could get all this. Look at all these great pictures. It's beautiful. And then you're like, oh yeah, I could be in Hawaii for like this. And no, I could live in a mansion. And then they go, okay, how far do I have to drive from the airport to get to this house? Oh,
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yeah.
a neighborhood that has,
But
people who live here full time. And
I
it's
mean,
not a vacation
yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah. But I mean, part of the neighborhood is on the water and
Yeah.
everything,
Well, if
but
it's ocean front, that's different than being in the middle of HPP, right?
yeah. And yeah, it's not zoned for vacation rentals. So, but if you're not zoned for vacation rentals, then you need to have a license. But I think that's similar to a lot of places around the United States. isn't it? With the Airbnb situation.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, specifically so people know here in Hawaii, they don't want you buying houses and renting them full time or renting them as a short-term vacation rental in a residential neighborhood. And then you can do that if you do live on the property too. Isn't that how that is going? Is that, and then they don't want you
Yeah.
buying vacation property on ag land. That's been cut.
Yeah, so it has to have specific zoning, like resort zoning, of course, and then commercial zoning. Some if it's zoned multifamily, you can do it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah. So
and then if you live on the property, you can.
yeah, because you have to be able to be there in case somebody's like going nuts in the pool, 14 people, to say stop doing that at 8 o'clock at night or whatever. So that's the rule.
So there were 27 that sold in HPP, 27 sales in HPP last month versus 32 the month before. So HPP is makes up about 1/3 of the Puna inventory too, because it's a humongous neighborhood.
Mhm.
And so that's why they had more there were more sales in HPP than Hilo, all of Hilo.
Mhm.
And the price range of the solds were 235,000 to 757, and the sales to current price median is 99%. So yeah, again, almost full price people are getting for their
For their
home.
revised pricing.
Yeah, for the revised pricing.
Okay.
Thank you. Revised pricing is a very good way to put it. Yes, revised pricing. And median days on the market was 87 versus 39 last month. So days on market are definitely going up in HPP.
Well, okay, there's some
Yeah.
change in the market. Okay. Yeah. And then also
Yeah.
tell them a little bit about some of the newer home builds that the carrying costs on some of these new homes are making some of these people lower the prices just a little bit to get them off the market. But also you're seeing
Yeah.
go up. So that could be a factor too, where the longer these new homes sit on the market, the more it's costing the person who built them to have them on the market not sold, right?
Yeah, the holding cost, and because people a lot of times they take construction loans and all of those types of things. So holding costs, and then um just maintenance too, mowing the lawn and this and that. They're
Mhm.
they're having to pay this month over month. And I think a lot of the developer I don't want to call them developers. We don't really have like
Yeah.
developers in East Hawaii. We have spec home builders.
Mhm.
And so a lot of what I'm noticing or what I'm hearing from them, a lot of them, is that they're a little uncertain about where we're going, which everybody everywhere is uncertain about where we're going right now. So they are kind of lowering their prices, trying to get their homes off, sold. And they're giving more incentives, just like the developers in the mainland. They're also giving incentives, like and lenders are sometimes giving incentives and working with the builders, giving incentives too. So I had one lender match a closing cost incentive.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it just shows that if you are a buyer in this market, they're thinking about lowering the price. We're talking about like interest rates. If you're interest rate sensitive, that the Fed might be lowering the interest rates in September due to the jobs market revision. And so maybe with the prices coming down a little bit with more, people who are in what's the word, not encouraged, but they want to get the house off the market, motivated. They're motivated. They want to like get these houses off. And so this might be a good time to go look at a new home build, right, in HPP and make a deal.
Yeah, I do think that if the interest rates do come down closer to 6,
Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe
the
they'll do
prices are gonna
0.25.
yeah, the prices are gonna they're not gonna come down. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't. So
So if somebody could get a
I
little
don't
bit
know
less on
about,
their
I
mortgage,
don't know about, what's that?
if somebody can get like maybe 0.25 off their mortgage, that would give them a less of a home every single month price for the house. And so maybe buyers are waiting for the housing for the market rates to come down a little bit before shopping for a home. And so with knowing that the rates are probably going to come down in September, I think it's going to happen. That now might be the time to go make sure that you have your financing in place, and the fact that you might want to be looking for homes that might be available, because if that happens and more people come into the market, you want to make sure that you're ready to go, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say people should start looking at homes before
No,
they
that
get
should pre-approved.
approved
But
for a
if the
loan.
market, if the
Yeah.
low, if the interest rates come down a little bit, and you've met with a lender, and they say if they come down by a little bit, you might be able
Oh,
to save
yeah,
two
yeah,
hundred
yeah.
dollars a month. So if you can save $200 a month if the rates come down, and you know that, then you can say, I saw this house 475. I can afford a $475,000 house because the interest rates came down this much. Time is ticking, you know. If the chance to move is now and you can afford it, take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And is there
Uh,
okay, so in terms of I always ask you this, is the phone ringing? Are people coming to Hawaii Island to buy a house?
on my side, like I said, it slowed down a little bit right before. I notice every time that it slows down before
The interest
the
rates.
Fed makes an announcement, but it hasn't. I don't know. We're pretty consistent. Yeah, yeah. I'm not feeling. Last year actually felt worse than this year. I don't know if it's something that I got used to something or what happened, but yeah. So
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, it also means that for your market, it's hanging, right? So sellers can't cry and buyers aren't getting total great deals. It's a balanced market, right?
it is more of a balanced market right now. It's heading more towards the buyer side. You're starting to feel it flip, but it is more of a balanced market right now,
Yeah.
despite what people are saying. Oh, it's a buyer's market. No, it's more balanced. It just feels like a buyer's market to sellers because sellers aren't getting to be so bossy anymore. They're not, like during COVID time, they were like, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this. And now that's less of that. Now they're like, we will do this and we will do that. And like, let's work together. So, and when you're starting to work together, that is more of a balanced market. So, but I think for a seller or sellers hearing all about how they could just do anything that they or not give anything before and now they're having to give a tiny bit, it feels like, oh my gosh, the sky is falling, but
Well, and
it's
also,
not in Hilo
like you
here.
said, though, what we're seeing here in our island, but I've seen some of the things on the mainland too, is that if sellers can't work a deal out and they have to lower the price too much, they're just pulling the house off the market. And summer, just this whole summer seems to be a little strange. So I do have hope for the fall market.
Everything's strange right
I
now.
know. It's just strange times. So,
Yeah, yeah, everything
well,
feels
I'm
a
glad
little
that you got a
strange.
chance to tap in. I know that you are in Chicago, and I know you got a day to go and enjoy your day here. So enjoy shopping and doing all the things you can't do on Hawaii Island while you're in Chicago. And we will catch
I gotta eat.
yeah, have fun, have fun. Eat well, have a pizza. But we will hopefully see you at the end of the month on the island-wide market update. And if people want to get a hold of you, I'm dropping Nui's information down below. And if people have questions, watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, drop some questions. Nui can answer those questions. But also when I hear feedback, like people want to know more about the towns that we're talking about because they don't know the area. Obviously, thank you for addressing that. And we'll continue to do that to help people understand a little bit more about where these houses are. Cool.
Yeah, and if people want to know certain activities nearby, I tend to just like to eat food, which Hilo actually has a really great restaurant scene. We have a lot of good chefs in Hilo, believe it or not, for a small town. But if anyone wants to know certain things about activities or what there is to do, let me know. I'm happy to share and answer questions next time.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, well then enjoy your day. Thank you so much. And lead and learn.
Thank you.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.